Gus Waite, your New York agent, and in today's episode I want to talk about Insurent. Insurent is a program designed for people who don't fit the traditional parameters of how to qualify for a New York apartment. I can't tell you how frustrating it is to be with someone who's really well qualified, and because they don't fit those parameters, I can't get them the apartment. What Insurent does is take people like that, people who are inheritors or foreigners or people who don't have a New York State guarantor or who have a lot of assets and their job doesn't meet the income requirements, and helps them land that apartment. I want to jump upstairs, talk to these guys, and see if they might be able to help you out. Let's check it out. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about what is Insurent and how it could be helpful to people. So what is Insurent?
You know, to simplify what Insurent is, just think of us as the institutional mommy and daddy. We guarantee leases. Landlords accept it, renters pay for the guarantee.
Okay, great, because I got to tell you, it's so frustrating. I have had so many really well-qualified people spend 2 or 3 days looking around for an apartment, finally get them in, and because they're a little bit off of what the actual landlord wants, we can't get the apartment. So I wanted to run by some circumstances, and you tell me if Insurent is something that could work for them, all right?
Absolutely.
All right. Foreign students. I got a lot of kids coming to NYU, going to cooking school, whatever. Wealthy parents, no documentation. Does it work for them? Absolutely.
As long as they have a passport and visa, and their parents overseas, or relative, or close friends, it makes at least 50 times the monthly rent here in their home country, or they just have significant liquid assets, we will easily, quickly accept them, and they will be approved within 20 minutes.
All right, so then I got other situations where I have 3 guys or 3 women.
Right.
They're in an apartment. All of a sudden, one person doesn't want to be the guarantor because, you know what, I don't want to be guaranteeing all these kids. Is that a situation that you can step into?
That situation happens all the time, where you might have one wealthy parent, the 2 other parents are not as wealthy. There's always a conflict. So what we do is we act as the guarantor in that situation.
Okay. I've had other situations where I have like kids who, not kids, you know, people who are inheritors.
Yes.
They might have $1 million in the bank, $2 million in the bank, be in their 30s.
Right.
Now, because their income doesn't meet the requirements, the landlords don't want to let them in. They don't want to turn to mommy and daddy and be their guarantor, and they're 35 years old. Is that something that would work as well?
Absolutely. We take care of almost every single situation. You know, a situation where someone just has cash, $100,000, $200,000, they want to rent a $3,000 a month apartment. They are treated as a pariah by landlords. For us, we easily, quickly take care of that issue, the guarantee.
Okay, retired people.
Do retired people all the time. Again, those are people who just live on pensions or have significant cash assets. We take care of them easily and quickly.
Okay. The analogy I like to use with people, and tell me if this is correct, it's like getting a driver's license. I walk into the motor vehicle department, unless I fit into, I have my original Social Security, this, you know, X, Y, Z, the motor vehicle department doesn't care that I'm a nice guy, that I have a good driving record. They say, hey, you don't meet the requirements. In New York, I mean, we're talking typical. 40 to 50 times the rent is what landlords want. So on a $3,000 one bedroom, you have to prove that last year you made between $120,000 and $150,000. They also want you to have a job in New York and have been on the job. They also prefer that you have a history of housing in New York, and they prefer that you have a credit score of 750 or above. If you don't meet those requirements, even if you have a guarantor, they have to be either New York or sometimes tri-state, or sometimes there's states that they do take and they don't take. So it's a lot more difficult than people realize to actually get qualified for an apartment. Would that be a true statement?
More than true. I mean, in New York City, it is one of the biggest hassles to rent an apartment. And that's why we created the service to take care of all of these various groups who have problems, be it the foreign persons who have no U.S.-based credit history, be it the U.S. or international student, be it the person who's only at 35 times the monthly rent rather than 40 or 45 or 50, be it the person who's self-employed, be it the person who's retired, be it the person who just has cash and liquid assets and doesn't work, who's also treated as a pariah.
Okay, got it. So, I mean, to me it makes sense. Someone's coming to New York to rent an apartment. Now what do? They go on your website, insurent.com.
www.insurent.com. They can be pre-qualified.
Does that cost anything? Do they have to put in?
The application fee is free. There is no application fee.
Okay. So if I'm coming to the city, or my kids are coming to the city, I could go here, put all this information in, and find out if I'm pre-qualified to be insured by you guys?
Yes, free of charge.
Okay.
And you will know within 10 or 15 minutes. You can apply during the daytime, you can apply during the evening, or on the weekend.
Okay.
You can apply for a specific building, apartment 3A at the Rivergate,
Right.
or you can just say, I don't know where I want to live, I want to apply for a specific monthly rent of $2,000, $3,000,
Got it.
$5,000, $10,000, or even $20,000.
And there's all kinds of parameters in terms of what it would cost. So like ballpark, I go on there, I come into the city, they don't let me rent an apartment because I'm a foreigner or whatever. I've been pre-approved by Insurent.
Yes.
The landlord accepts Insurent.
Yes.
There's a list of landlords who
Yes.
accept it. And I say, great, I want to buy this insurance so I don't have to go through the aggravation of not being able to
Absolutely.
get this apartment. Ballpark, you know, what does it
Ballpark
cost?
for U.S. persons, the fee is somewhere between 75 through 80% of 1 month's rent. That is for the lease, not per person. So if there's 2 persons, they would be splitting that. Ballpark for foreigners without U.S.-based credit history, the fee is approximately 110% of 1 month's rent.
Got it. So anywhere from 75% to 110% is the range depending on the individual circumstances of the person looking
Right,
to
but
rent.
for the U.S. person, the range really is, give or take, the 75 through 80% of 1 month's rent. And for the foreigner without U.S.-based credit history, the fee on average is the 110% of 1 month's rent. It's really as simple as that.
So it really is easy. I mean,
And no additional security, no prepaid rent, none of that. You are treated as though you are the best renter in the world, as though you're fully qualified. You make $500,000, you have a perfect credit score.
Great. Anything else I should know that I didn't ask about?
Well, the only persons that we don't take care of, because there are some
Sure.
groups that we turn down.
Right.
Basically, the only group that we turn down are people with bad credit.
And bad credit would mean what?
Bad credit would mean that you have collection accounts, you have liens, you have judgments, and that you have a credit score below 630.
Okay, great. Before we leave today,
Yes.
the best place to have lunch within walking distance of your building here at 11 East 44th Street is what?
I think it might be Cafe Centro.
Okay. And what's the go-to dish at Cafe Centro?
That's a good question. I would have to come back to you on that.
Okay, great. Well, thanks, Jeffrey. I appreciate it. It was good talking to you.